So now, dearest friends, we have our wonderful, wonderful co-worker, very effective soul all around the planet, gathering groups together and shines his light and wisdom and patience, at least with me. So, Alexander, are you ready? Are you ready there?
I think so.
Great. Do you want to share the screen? Warmly welcome, Alexander. Lovely to see you. Do you want to share the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we will let this happen there just for a moment. So Alexander is has been born in Ukraine, but is now in New York. Was that correct? Okay, good. So now I close my microphone.
Thank you. Thank you, Tuya, for bringing us all together as always. I want to start my sharing today with this image that you can see on the screen. This photo was taken on the Mount of Beatitude by the Sea of Galilee. 4+ something years ago, from the grotto on the Mount Beatitude, very close to this very same place where Jesus, Master Jesus and Christ sounded the sermon, the great sermon, opening the new age of Pisces. This is quite a magical place, and I think for many of us, we've been going on this journey for last 2 millennia, and this journey has been preparing us for this time. And now, as we preparing to enter into the last year of the stage of the Forerunner, we have such a joy to be together and know together and continue this path, working together. Since the very beginning of my journey in the esoteric group in this lifetime, back in 2000, when I just joined a group in Kharkiv in Ukraine, and we meditated together on the incoming shambolic energies, we could sense the significance of the year 2025. We knew very little of the meaning back then, but we could sense that all our work in the coming years will be geared towards this year, 2025. We know from the teachings that the year 2025 is the time of the Centennial Conclave, where the spiritual hierarchy of the planet will meditate in alignment with Shambhala and hierarchy on the purpose and the unfolding divine plan. Every 100 years, the masters of wisdom precipitate the vision, laying out the plans for humanity for the century ahead. The plan is formulated based on recognition of the current state of human affairs and the dynamic of all the processes within the human family. We also know that the conclave this time will have a special significance, as the hierarchy will be making a decision about the timing of their externalization on the physical plane, as well as the timing for the reappearance of the Christ. These decisions will define the dynamic of human evolution for the next 2,500 years. So, all knowing all this, there's always been a question, or rather the question, what can we do in preparation for this year, 2025? The very obvious way to contribute to the outcomes of the 2025 conclave is focusing our collective efforts to influence the dynamic of human affairs, making us collectively more prepared for potential leap into a better future. For decades, this was one of the main focuses for all disciples and aspirants in the world. Preparing the minds and hearts of people of the world for the coming spring of humanity is one of the main tasks of the new group of world servers. One of the main results of the Centennial Conclave 100 years ago in 1925 was formation of the new group of world servers. This subjective group unifies the most advanced sons and daughters of the human race in all the lands and nations. There is no formal structure that defines their unity. They're unified by their inner recognition of the call to serve their fellow brothers and sisters, and thus assisting humanity in its evolutionary path. They resonate with the Aquarian qualities of brotherhood, common good, and freedom. This subjective unity was defined as the group forerunner that prepares the way for the new Aquarian avatar, the same way as John the Baptist was preparing the way for the Christ 2,000 years ago. The period following the end of the World War in 1945 till year 2025 is called technically the stage of the forerunner. It is said that this period is preparatory in nature, testing in its methods, and intended to be revelatory in its techniques and results. This period is a crucial time in the history of humanity to make necessary adjustments in its ways, preparing for the coming externalization of the spiritual hierarchy of the planet and the reappearance of the Christ. The new group of world service being actively present in all the fields of human endeavors and have been playing an essential role in this process. We can say that the formation of the new group of world service is one of the greatest hierarchical experiments ever. This experiment is still in the process of unfoldment. As we prepare for the last year of the forerunner stage, we're challenged to go deeper in the meaning and the potential of the world service group, recognizing it as a living, growing, functioning organism. We know that the esoteric segment of the new group of world service, of which we are the part, forms the heart center of the world service group. What does it mean to be the heart center? Following the analogy with the physical heart in our body, we can say that there are two main functions that the heart plays in making any organism, living, functioning being. First, it is to anchor the life principle via Sutratma, the life thread, connecting the body with the overshadowing soul and modern. And second is to distribute the life energy via the bloodstream to all vital organs in our body, as well to the very periphery of each living cell. So what does this analogy mean for us practically? We as esoteric students have tools and methods to invoke the vital energies available at any given time, energy of life and love, and foremost, energy of will, to vivify the entire body of the new group of world service and to distribute the flow of these energies to all world service who work on the far fronts of the human evolution. It's interesting to consider the cycles of the new group of world servers about which we know. The 7-year cycle defines the timing of the festival week of the new group of world service, also known as the festival week of group impact. The fact of the new group of world service was declared in the lead to the festival week in 1935, when Uranus just entered into sign of Taurus, the very sign that rules the new group of world servers. Uranus, being the planet of discipleship and transformation, takes 7 years going through each zodiacal sign. The full cycle of Uranus, as we know, is 84 years. Thus, the latest festival week of 2019 marked the full cycle of Uranus coming back to the same sign, and thus marking the beginning of the new cycle of the new group of world servers. The festival of group impact happens between December 21st through December 28th every 7 years. This is the time of an astrological alignment with an extra zodiacal source of life, which to our zodiac is the same what Capricorn is for our Earth. This alignment provides a unique opportunity for meditating groups to avail themselves to the inflowing energy of will and power. As many of us has experienced, the Festival Week of Impact in 2019 provided important impulse for the entire World Service Group via its heart center, the esoteric community, who used this beneficent opportunity on the behalf of the entire group. The impulse of the festival week stimulated the process of deepening groups' self-identification with their node and function within the wider community of groups. Through the construction of Group Antakarana, practicing groups started to recognize the ability to focus and express certain energy qualities, and thus, in a way, becoming ashramic outposts on the physical plane. This simultaneous process allowed groups to recognize their oneness with other groups within the living organism of the one planetary server. I invite us to read this quote from Race and Initiations. The Ajna center of the Lord of the World is just beginning to express itself in a recognizable manner through the new group of world servers. This intermediate group between the hierarchy and humanity is a carrier of the energy which makes the plan possible, the plan of which the hierarchy is the custodian. This plan implements the purpose, and later, when the new group of world service is organized and is recognized as a living organism, it will definitely receive energy from Shambhala in a direct reception via the hierarchy. This information is of little immediate importance to you, but towards the end of the century, it will be found explanatory of much. As many of what Tibetan Master wrote is related to the future generations of disciples for us. So we can reflect on this and recognize that the World Service Group actually grows into its destined position to become the planetary Ajna center. The planetary eye that can see and project in both worlds. Let us now have a pause. Let us close our eyes. And recognize our unity within the heart center of the new group of world servers. Sense the pulsating rhythm of living heart. Expand our awareness to the wider group, to the entire group of world servers. Recognize it as a living, functioning organism. See the pulsating splashes of colors and lights, vivifying the planetary network of light, the World Service Group. Recognize the position of the world group between the hierarchy and humanity, bridging the human world and the world of spirit. See the great planetary triangle, humanity, hierarchy, and Shambhala. We see as the world group of service growing in it recognition of its position as the planetary ajna, the planetary eye. Let us continue holding this visualization inwardly. There's still many things to be done to stimulate the process of self-recognition of the new group of world servers as a living organism. And therefore, it's important for us, esoteric community, the heart center of the new group, to use any opportunity to invoke the energy of life to be distributed within the living, functioning body of the world group. Another beneficent opportunity for deepening our recognition of the livingness of the world group is happening right now, as we live through the actual conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, two rulers of Aquarius, celebrating their sacred union in Taurus, the sign of the new group of world servers. The jet-centric conjunction happened just a couple of days ago within the energies of this WESAK. So as we meditate today and the rest of the days of the full moon, we can invoke this unique energy combination to stimulate the new group of world servers, the planetary eye, to be open to its full potential, so that when the eye is opened, everything is illumined. Some time ago, I was struck by a recognition of the similarity between the essence of the WESAK ceremony, as described in the writings of Alice Bailey, and the coming conclave of 2025. In its essence, the WESAK is the moment of great contact between the hierarchy and Shambhala, expressed via the meeting of two great teachers, the Christ and the Buddha. This is the time when every year an impulse of will is received by the Christ and the hierarchy. Similar to this, every 100 years, the hierarchy gathers to align with the purpose as it is seen in Shambhala in order to precipitate the vision of the divine plan for the next 100 years. We know from Alice Bailey's description of the annual rituals in the WESAK Valley that the world disciples and aspirants in their various grades and groups who constitute at this time the new group of world service have their place in the great geometrical alignment among those gathered around the Christ in anticipation of the great approach in the WESAK Valley. It is said that certain ritualistic movements take place in which the grouped masters and their disciples of all ranks take up symbolic position and form the floor of the valley such significant symbols as the five-pointed star with the Christ standing in the highest point, or a triangle with the Christ at the apex, or a cross, and other well-known formation, all of which have a deep and potent meaning. So can we project this essence of this great ritual to the coming event of alignment between the hierarchy and Shambhala next year? Can we assume that the world disciples and aspirants and groups have their place and role to play in the coming conclave? I invite us to consider this as a hypothesis. We could speculate that the world group has a role to play in the great alignment happening during the conclave. The new group of world service align in certain etheric geometrical shapes in alignment with the hierarchy and Shambhala can assert a role of a receptive group lens that could be used by the hierarchy as it considers the state of human affairs. At the same time, the group lens could stand on behalf of humanity as one planetary server, holding the group consciousness open to the perception of the divine plan for the next 100 years. How can we test this hypothesis? Only through practice. One of the greatest hints given to us by our master, Joel Kuhl, says that initiate knows because he works, and not the other way around. We recognize the coming Sirius Leo festival this year, in a few months, as a special opportunity for the world esoteric community, for groups, to experiment with self-organizing in certain geometrical order, forming a receptive lens in preparation for the 2025 conclave. Leo's direct connection to Sirius, the star of sensitivity, provides us with the opportunity to expand our individual group's sensitivity, recognizing the notes of other groups, as well as developing a felt sense of the world group as a living, functioning organism. And thus forming this receptive lens that can stand together with the hierarchy next year. I use this opportunity to invite groups to join the intergroup experiments on establishing telepathic rapport in order to strengthen our connectivity within the living organism of the new group of world servers. We see this experiment as a dress rehearsal in preparation for the next year's opportunity to serve humanity and the spiritual hierarchy as one planetary server. I will put my email in the chat. So if your group would be interested to join this experiment, please reach out. So as we prepare for the last year of the Forerunner stage, together we form a group altar by becoming one. Linking intentionally, we form a living band of servers, forming a receptive, transmitting chalice for the hierarchical energies to be distributed throughout the entire body of the new group of world servers and further to humanity. Every solar festival next year, every full moon, we will be standing together as one. It will be the time for groups to stand together as a part of a living organism, the planetary ajna. It will be time to withstand the tension of the incoming energies and to receive, hold, and distribute those energies within the planetary network of light. So let us prepare. This is time to bring the yield of our labors of decades and centuries. This is the time we've been waiting for. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you very much. Thank you for reminding us again about the next year, and it is going inside all of that now we try to do, and hopefully we all now push this to everyone's head that it is a very important time that we are living. Thank you so much.